Floris, daar leer je van. Daar leer je van. Nee, je hebt niks waterpas gezet en vervolgens ben je overal met waterpas langs gegaan.
The ribs hurt. I'm having crazy inside. Feeling like a spare rib. About humanity. So, first of all, believing that a world is ruled by people with good intentions. Because I refuse to believe that a world is ruled by people with bad intentions. It would spoil me. It spoils anyone who believes this, that the world is ruled by people with bad intentions. What's a bad intention? A bad intention is that they're aware of the fact that they make decisions from their ego and they get better and others lose. Mental well-being and physical well-being. That's a bad intention. A good intention is that you want people to feel okay, to feel secure, especially within this world. Because the real world, the world which goes for all of us, is full of insecurity. And here's a tricksy point. It's also where all the beauty is found. And this higher form of existence. Within this insecurity, the not knowing, but giving yourself to the not knowing, to the unknown. Surrendering to this. Whenever you experience that higher form of life, it's a difficult matter now speaking this, because it's not that I cannot experience this life experience I'm having with any other life experience, first of all. I therefore cannot say that my experience of life is any higher than anyone else's experience of life. But within this experience of life I am having, which I consider to be a high experience of life, I crave anyone else to experience the same. Because it's a beautiful experience. Within a world which is filled with hate and war and anger, I'm still having a beautiful experience. And that's because I create distance from things, spiritual distance from these things. And I wish for the whole world to experience similar, the life in a similar way. Because it's beautiful. And I don't believe that these people who rule the world, the governments who steer the mass, that they want to get you to this point, this state of being, this high state of being. A high state of being is the simple phenomenon where you know a lot of self-expression and do not have to worry about any fundamental matters. Governments, or the elite, or people who rule the world, well, yeah. Losing track of myself here for a bit. Oh. What I'm trying to say is that if these people ruling the world would have a similar high experience of life, they would for sure 100%. So if they would have this high experience of life where they would crave for all and everyone to know this same space for self-expression, and where all this love can flow, they would wish for anyone else to experience this too, right? You would be an absolutely cruel person if you would not wish this. And then you're a person with bad intentions. if you do not wish for anyone else to experience this, and if you rule the world, then but that's what I'm refusing to believe, that people work like this. I simply believe that they do not know this higher form of existence. Because if they would, then they would act to this, right? 100% sure. That's my hope, the good hope in the good intentions of humanity. And I remain to have this good hope. Because it works like this. Because if someone is ignited by this amount of light, then you cannot have this know-how and use it for yourself or for the ego. Maybe very few people in the past have been proven that you as a human can be so spoiled I'm trying to say that the people who rule this world apparently don't know this higher form of existence, because otherwise they would act to it. So that can be, I can factually state that. At least I can, because they do not speak the same crave to make humanity feel good and for people to have a high mental well-being and physical well-being. Because if they would make decisions to that, like according to this. they would provide proper education, not education which is fitting you in this box where you just support this idea, where you only escape, where you create a safe environment in which you can safely escape from diving into the deep and diving into the, because we have been so derived from nature. That's the key. That's what it's all about. We've been so derived from nature. And all these years that we've created this huge obstacle to come back to it. And going back to it desires immense self-confrontation. That goes, well, going back to this nature, the first step within this is immense self-confrontation, which is the scariest thing, one of the scariest things ever. I say from experience. It is the scariest thing ever, maybe. I don't know. For me it was. I managed to do because I felt I was in a safe environment. Okay, that's an immense privilege for sure. Some may not be in this safe environment. That's why it's up to us. The relatively rich part of humanity who we all have the space to explore it and then share it. That might give me the balls to share this monologue I'm having. I'm having many of these monologues with myself. Very few times I record them, because I feel there's a revolutionary message within these I at some point have to put out in the world. I cannot keep it for myself. That would be wouldn't feel okay with that, really. So there's this. That's it. I was describing the key of what our main problem as humanity is. Then, is that we derive so far from nature, from our natural way of being, that it became that we created such an obstacle to come back to it. And within that obstacle, we created a safe environment up front of that obstacle, in which we can collectively move in some fictional world which is protecting us, which is a wrong word here, protecting us from having to jump over this obstacle. And beyond this obstacle, we find true life, true beauty of life, and this immensely high experience of life.
I got it. I'm making house for it. It's musicians, they play music all day. Rhythm section. First rhythm section. Then bass guitar. Then guitar. Vocal. Yeah. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Because up front is the obstacle. There's suffering. There's a lot of suffering. And with believing that even people who rule the world have good intentions, they just try to protect you from jumping this obstacle. Because this first step in going back to nature, to our core identity, this first step within this immense self-confrontation, the immensely big questions, it goes hand in hand with the huge doubt about how the whole world is moving, the undescribable identity crisis you have to go through. Really indescribable. It's nuts. It's way more scary. It's way more scary than the comfort of this fictional life we have created safely. Which is laying before this obstacle. All I'm saying is that I feel like I know where this obstacle has been laying for me. And for sure many obstacles will still come my way, but I jumped a huge one, and I know I can now jump even bigger ones, to the point where they become so big that they still don't scare me. It's just realizing that there's great potential in our human being. Great potential. And we can change the world. We can. We are doing already. Just have to ignite some more people with this non-fictional but very real idea that you have this power too, to experience life in this deep level. You probably have the power too, if you are now listening to this. Because then you watch on a telephone or a computer, which is quite a luxurious position already within the world. Yeah, it's a quite normal position, but I mean that it shows a certain materialistic wealth you probably have. That means that you are already having this one opportunity, because if I can put something out on this platform here, then you have the same ability. Therefore, yeah. Just realize where you are right now in life. You probably have at least a few things flowing okay. Maybe you do not have anything flowing okay, but that would be super miserable. Yeah, it can be. I'm just saying that I feel blessed with the fact that I have all these abilities right now. I feel like using them. It's the least I can do. It's the least I can do. Well, life is a crazy ride, you can say. Go to sleep. Floris, it was nice talking to you. Yeah, man. Thank you for listening to myself too. Alright. Sleep well.
Volgens mij duwen wij weer als een meter omhoog en dan kun je aan de stoel.
Dan trek ik hem hier op.
Ja, even bij je houden en dan komen wij naar de zijkant. Je houdt er gewoon even een balans tegen die muur.
In ballon.
Hold maar, ik kom omhoog.